So let's take a look first at Unit 1, Introduction to Healthcare. Let me just say that generally speaking, when we looked at the curriculum, we really wanted to talk about how can we make this subject matter more interesting for the students so that it wasn't quite as sterile as it may have been. And we did succeed on that in some areas. We did change a little bit more to make it a little bit more personal and personable, I should say, for the students. I think that in Unit 1, we did add some definitions. For instance, we changed a bit of the Bill of Rights, made it a little bit more inclusive. We talked about representatives, resident representatives. We certainly expanded on person-centered care. We even talked a little bit more about a facility. And when we really thought about what else should we look at in this first unit, we did add spirituality. We felt that, yes, we had religion entered into that unit and throughout the curriculum, but we felt, as Sue said, we felt that we should also add spirituality. We were more, I think we explained a bit more negligence, so needed. Under abuse and negligence, we really expanded that because that was intense in the federal requirements. There were pages and pages of that. How do we include more in that definition of abuse and neglect? Another item that was added, expanded, was technology. We talked a little more about how could abuse occur with technology. How do we do that? So we did absolutely include that in this first unit. And then when we came to the home health aid changes, I think generally throughout the entire home health aid curriculum, we were insistent on adding and reminding that if you do not know how to do something, you do not do it, which we tell our students all the time. But we reiterated that throughout the home health aid. We also put in the assessment word and acknowledging that home health aides and nursing assistants don't assess, but we do include, yes, you don't assess, but you do data collect. And you're the eyes and ears for the nurses, and we stress that as being very important in that unit. We also talked about the care plan, how important the care plan is in the home health aid area. Yeah, obviously a nursing assistant as well, but we expanded a little bit more in the home health aid. We added information under standard precautions. We also included qualities of a home health aid. What should that home health aid look like? And throughout the curriculum, not only in the home health aid curriculum, but in the nursing assistant curriculum, we stressed family. Specifically, in the home health aid piece, we were very clear to say, do not argue with families. Don't give your opinions to families. It's not your rule. And so that, if you had any questions, again, we put in, if the home health aide doesn't know, be sure to check with the supervisor. And we did that throughout the entire home health aid curriculum. So that's, in a nutshell, what we did for Unit 1. Questions? All right, then we will move on to Unit 2, Basic Human Needs. We expanded on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I think, generally speaking, we took the majority of all those key terms and made them easier for the student to understand. That was important. We talked about basic physical, emotional, and spiritual needs, again, of the resident. Now, we've done that before, but we expanded on that. And again, we expanded on the family. The one thing that was stressed in the federal strongly suggested changes would be that we add the definition of a family to include, yes, members of the opposite gender, but also members of the same gender, and we became more inclusive. We talked about domestic partners. We talked about having a partner as your spouse. And we also included siblings and friends. So that was new. We also looked at, in the home health aid piece, we looked at acute illness versus chronic illness for the home health aid employee. And then we also wanted to talk about substance abuse. There was a lot in the federal requirements to expand on opioid use, substance abuse, classify that into substance abuse. And so that is included. And another word that we included that is important for our students to understand is stereotyping. What does it mean to stereotype someone? And so we expand on that as well. We included more discussion on elder abuse. And again, we said if you have any concerns, be sure to let your supervisor know. That's, as I said, stressed throughout both curriculum. All right. Any questions on Unit 2? All right, moving along. Unit 3, communication. We talked a lot about communication and electronics. So important. And that is added in the definition in Unit 2. What are you talking about with electronics? And again, we made those key terms a lot easier for students to understand. When it came to the home health aid piece, we really didn't make a lot of changes, and if I remember correctly, we didn't make any changes to the actual key terms. And if those of you who teach the home health aid know that some units have minimal key terms to begin with, some have none. So in this particular unit, we did not change any of the key terms. Again, we talked about how important it is to include family when communicating. Again, added, ask your supervisor if you don't know. One of the pieces that we both felt that is important, and I'm sure you will agree, is that we added kindness. As kindness shown to someone is a universal language. Kindness, gentleness, that's something that whether you understand a particular language or not, you feel that, you see that. So we did include kindness in that. We also talked about if there are children present, what is age-appropriate television? So if you have an opportunity, I'm not sure that this would be appropriate, but if you're going to watch TV, no, I don't think so. But if the student if the home health aide is taking care of the family member and a young person wants to watch television and says, hey, what can I watch on TV? You probably want to give them a Housewives or something like that to watch. You know, it has to be age appropriate. And so we stress the importance of that. We also stressed that you never threaten a child. You do not discipline your way of discipline to a child. Absolutely not. And if you need to go to the care plan, that's fine. You go to the care plan. And if you have questions, you ask your supervisor. We also included in this communication unit in the home health aid section that if you are going to document, you cannot erase and you must use a pen. Now this seems pretty basic, but we added the importance of that. We also added the importance of home health aides when they collect the data from their client, that they look for bruises, redness, swelling, any of those potential indications of something that doesn't seem quite right. Whether you are going to label that immediately as abuse, I'm not saying that, but at least that the home health